Hey, it's good to see you again. How's it going? Good. That's good to hear. It's been a while. Things are feeling a little more manageable. I'm glad to hear it. Hmm? Yeah, I'm doing well. I mean, things certainly aren't perfect. There's still a lot of tension out there. A lot that's still up in the air. A lot that's out of my control. But in general, things are settling into a new normal. And I take solace in that. I gotta say, it's nice to hear some good news from someone who walks through the store. A lot of people are still struggling, even this long after. Although, a lot of the people who come to see us are actually using it as an opportunity to talk about all kinds of other things that they're struggling with. There wasn't much good that came out of the inversion, but if one of those things was that it helped people realize that they could get help with things, even the things that don't seem so big, that aren't so earth-shattering, but that still matter, that still affect them. If getting help from the tragedy let them see a benefit to talking through other hard times, then that's something to be grateful for. And I am. There's something else, isn't there? I don't mean to pry. If that's all you wanted to talk about, I'm happy to do that. I can tell there's something else. And I know I just said it was nice to hear some good news, but that doesn't mean I don't still want to help if there's something bothering you. Or at least try to help, even if that's just to listen. It's up to you. Like always, it's your time. We'll make it what works best for you. Okay? It's about the good feelings. How? I'm not sure I'm following. Oh. Okay. Not at all. That's not crazy. That's actually a really normal feeling that a lot of people grapple with at some point. Especially people who have had a lot of struggles in the past. It's not weird to feel a sort of fear from being happy, as counterintuitive as that might sound to vocalize. The fear is a fear of losing that happiness, of falling back into discomfort, emotions are cyclical. Because, for the most part at least, life experiences are cyclical. Good ones, followed by bad ones, followed by good ones, followed by bad ones, over and over. Of course, the balance of good versus bad is different for everyone, for a million different reasons, but no one's life is always at a high point indefinitely, at least not in their own estimation. And a possible and common after effect of that cyclical experience is to view those good times as inherently fleeting. The time is spent waiting for the other shoe to drop, so to speak. Waiting for the fall. Because it's happened before. It's happened every time before, so it feels like the drop is inevitable. And the truth is that, yeah, it is. It is inevitable. There's gonna be another low at some point. Happiness, joy, contentment, serenity. They're not permanent. But that's okay. The problem isn't that they're transient, it's that people are so often fed an unrealistic expectation that they can somehow reach this point of zero conflict. That if they can just get X, Y, and Z, or resolve their feelings about A, B, and C, that they'll feel secure forever. That they'll be happy, happily ever after. But that's not life. That's not anyone's life. Something bad is gonna happen in the future. It will. That's inevitable. But it's also not the end. There's good in that future as well. And you already have the proof of that. Just as surely as there were lows in the past, there were also highs. They ended, but new ones rose as well. And they will again. Maybe not as many of them as we deserve, and certainly not as many of them as we'd like. But they will. It's a cycle. And it's normal to fear the lows of that cycle. I get why you feel that way. Truly. But when we let that fear override what joy we can find, it's really unfair to ourselves. It's not irresponsible to enjoy happiness while we've got it, even in the face of an uncertain future. If anything, it's that much more important to cherish those moments while they're happening. You have to try to live in the moment while you've got it. And of course, all of this is much easier said than done. One pep talk can't magically fix anything. Nothing that I know of, anyway. it's a question of mindset. And mindsets take time to set in place. The one you're struggling with right now didn't just appear overnight either. It rose up out of a consistent pattern of experiences and the responses to those individual experiences as they happened, and the responses to that pattern as it became more noticeable. It took time to establish that mindset, and it'll take time to change it. It'll take work. Most of all, it'll take practice. Mindfulness to the progress of that practice. Patience with yourself along the way. There are a lot of different ways to approach trying to change in that way. Different techniques work better for different people. Personally, I'm a big fan of affirmations, mantras, things that I can say to myself and remind myself of when I see the patterns that I'm dissatisfied with trying to come back. I'm the first to admit that I'm not always the greatest at leaning on others for support when I'm struggling, much to my chagrin, considering how much I preach it. But I know that about myself. I know that's something I want to work on. And in the meantime, while I am working on that, life is still going on. So, in this moment, I need tools that'll work for me right now. And since right now, I'm not always comfortable leaning on others when I'm struggling, I find I gravitate towards tools that I can use alone. Hence, affirmations. Things I can tell myself. Declarative statements that ground my experience. That slow my thoughts down for a second. And give me that jumping off point to reframe what I'm feeling in that moment. And that's just one example of one thing that works for me. It doesn't work for everybody. I mean, some people find affirmative repetition to be annoying or patronizing. It takes time to find the tools that'll work for you. And while I'm happy to offer some potential options, talk about things through the lens of my own experience, I do just want to reiterate that any and all of that would be coming from a place of friendly support, but not professional experience. I'm happy to talk whenever you want to. I'm happy to help any way that I can, but I'm not a professional, and I wouldn't pretend to be. I have experience helping people, but that's not in lieu of any kind of formal certification. I'm not a substitute for a counselor or a therapist, but I can be a friend. One who will do what he can with the means that he's got. and one who will be honest about where his abilities end and where someone professional would be a better option. Cool. Hey, I'm not sure how much longer the department plans to leave this program in place. I mean, I certainly think a lot of good is coming from it, but it is true that as we get farther and farther away from the incident that incited this, we're definitely getting fewer people coming to talk each week. I hope the department sees that it's still important work that helps, but well, you work for them too. I don't have to tell you that altruism isn't this place's strong suit most of the time. So, just in case, here's my number. You can reach out anytime. Call, text, whatever. No, thank you for coming back in. Like I said, it's nice to get to see people feeling a little better. It makes it feel like, however small of a help I may have been in that regard, I was able to help. And that feels really good. Yeah. Well, I hope to hear from you again. It's nice talking to you. I'll see you around. Be well, my friend.